As a high altitude organic grower, I get a lot of questions about season extension and how to get the most out of your garden in such a short growing season. This video will demonstrate how to assemble a caterpillar tunnel that has been retrofitted to work with raised beds. It's one of the best methods we've discovered to help mitigate many of the growing challenges we face in the high country. I've included an explanation of the differences between some of the materials that have worked for us, as well as a guide on how to choose and measure these materials. A link to this information is available in the description of this video and on the High Country Conservation website. The different materials include 3/4 to 1 inch polypropylene webbing, 1/8 of an inch polypropylene rope or larger, row cover, 1/2 inch PVC pipes. We use 10-foot lengths, spaced 2 to 4 feet apart, 2 steel screw hooks, nails bent to create a hook at each pipe, 2 to 4 spring clamps, and rebar. Alrighty, let's get started. Slide PVC pipe onto the rebar on one side of the bed, then proceed to slide opposite sides on. If rebar is not present on your raised bed, 2-hole straps can be used to secure PVC pipe to the bed instead. Tie the webbing to the eye hook on one end of the bed. Starting on the end attached to the eye hook, begin wrapping the webbing once around each PVC pipe, using the same direction on each pipe, and making sure the webbing is at the highest point of the pipe. Go back through your hoops and center the webbing, pulling out any slack, and then tie the webbing to the opposite end eye hook. A trucker's hitch knot is very handy in keeping the webbing taut. Detailed instructions on how to tie a trucker's hitch knot can be found in the description of this video and on the High Country Conservation website. The webbing should be very tight and spring back when pushed on. Lay the row cover over the PVC pipes and the webbing, making sure the sides are even and that the cloth on both ends of the bed reaches the bottom of the bed or further. With both workers starting on one end of the bed, tie the rope to the eye hook on that end of the bed and run it through the first nail hook. Hand the rope over to the other worker, who will skip one hoop and hook the rope to the nail on the next hoop. Continue handing the rope off to each other to hook every other nail. Once at the end, wrap the rope around the end of the bed itself, along with the overhanging row cover. Hook the rope onto the next closest nail and continue handing the rope off to each other as you did before to hook every other nail that has not yet been used. When you reach the end, wrap the rope around the bed as you did before and tie it off to the hook, or use a trucker's hitch to tie it off to the other end of the line. You'll have to untie or unhook the piece that you started with. At this point, there will be a lot of slack in the line. Beginning on the end that you started with, go back through and pull out the slack in the rope. This will then create more tension against the webbing and fabric. The fabric, webbing, and rope together should then begin to take on the appearance of a caterpillar. On each end, twist the extra fabric and tie 2 knots on each corner to secure the ends of the row cover. These resemble pigtails on each corner of the bed. If needed, use clamps to secure the fabric to the webbing and the twisted fabric to the rope. Here are some helpful tips. Make sure the rope is overlapped, creating an X in the center of each space between the PVC pipes on the webbing. Don't allow excess fabric to bunch up at the top of the caterpillar, but instead pull it down towards the sides and the ends of the bed. The beauty of the caterpillar tunnel is that it can remain closed when not in use, while providing a more friendly growing environment for the crops inside. When the caterpillar needs to be opened, one person can simply slide the fabric up along the hoops throughout the length of the bed. The tunnel will then remain open because it is secured by the tension of the rope against it. To close it, just slide the fabric back down to its original position below the top of the bed. The venting can thus be adjusted to suit the growing circumstances, and crops can easily be harvested or tended to as needed. For more information, look us up online at highcountryconservation.org.